Hi, my name is Mark, and today I would like to tell you how to save a world. This is a game I got for review from Burnt Island Games. Thanks for sending it. This is a Euro game where you have to save a planet from incoming asteroid. You can either build a laser or build a shield or try to evacuate. It's a game for 1 to 4 players with a solo mode, of course. In a second I will show you how the game plays, and then I will tell you what I think about it. This is how Save a World looks like during gameplay. There are quite a lot of elements here and components, but don't worry, this game is not as complex as it may seem. The main area here is the game board, where you have 3 different tracks with different projects that you will try to research during the game that may stop the asteroid that it's coming your way. There is laser that may stop the asteroid, maybe a shield, and if not, then there is the evacuation project that will save everyone on the planet and they will be evacuated to escape from the asteroid. So you have those tracks. Apart from those tracks, you have different action spaces, and each player has got 3 landers, and you will be able to send those landers to different action spaces to perform those actions. So this is basically a worker placement game. There are some action spaces on the planet and there are some action spaces on the moon. Of course, if your lander is on the moon, you can choose any moon space for this lander, and if your lander is on the planet, you can choose the spaces from the planet. You can travel between the moon and the planet, but you have to spend some resources. Also, there are some action spaces printed on the board, but on the moon there are 4 additional spots that will be filled with additional tiles with even more action spaces during the game. So there will be more actions available on the moon during the game. And here is this asteroid. It looks like this. Asteroid has got a track and it will move at the end of each round farther and farther. And if this asteroid reaches this spot, the game ends, and then you will have to check which project was the pivotal one and saved the planet. We have 3 decks of cards. We have action cards, we have boost cards, and we have a species card. Each player starts with 1 card of each type, but during the game you will be able to acquire more cards. You will be able to remove some cards, so there are some deck building elements in this game as well. The action cards, basically, they allow you to spend an energy resource to perform additional actions, because as you look at the board and you see that you have only 3 landers and there are a lot of different action spaces, 3 landers is not a lot, so you will not be able to perform everything you want. And here where the action cards come in handy, because you can discard those cards to perform additional actions. The boost cards, the blue ones, they are cards that you can play after performing a specific thing. Like here, if you, for example, get one of the tags, I will talk about tags later, you can get additional tags. So boost cards, as the name says, will boost the actions that you perform. You have to check on each boost card. You have this area here that says play after you, and something is shown here. So after you perform this action, you will get those bonuses. And the green cards, the species cards, are end game scoring cards, and the more green cards you get during the game, the bigger chances that you will score more points, because each green card, each species card has got a specific conditions, and by fulfilling this condition when the game ends, you will get additional victory points. Because most victory points in the game you will get after the game ends. You get some points during the game from those tracks, for example, but most victory points will be awarded to you when the game ends from those 3 different research tracks, but also, as I said, from those green cards. This board here, this is a board that shows you the progress on working on each of those projects, because when you advance on the laser track, shield track, or the evacuation track, this kind of represents the scientists that are working on this project, and they try to develop different things, and they try to make this project the best. And when you advance on those tracks, apart from getting some bonuses and victory points, you will also take some of those cubes that represent each of the projects, and when you advance on one of the projects, you will take cubes of the color of this project, and you will put the number of cubes that we advanced on this track to this bag. And this bag will contain during the game cubes in different colors. The more players work on a specific project, the more cubes of that color will be in that bag. And at the end of the round, you will take a specific number of cubes from this bag depending on the round you are currently playing, and you will place those cubes on this here progress board here. And during the game you will fill this progress board, and when any of those projects reaches one of those spots with this burning asteroid here, the game will end. So the game can end either when asteroid reaches the last space, or when you fill one of those projects here. Of course, there's like a probability that the more cubes of a specific colors are here, then the bigger chances that those cubes will be taken from the bag and placed here. So during the game you will decide which projects you want to maybe complete or work on. The most points you will score from the most successful projects, but you will also score points from the 2 additional projects. So the pivotal one will give you most points depending where you're on this project track, but you'll also get some points from the remaining tracks. So we have the cards, we have the project board, the main board, but we also have the player board. And I will not leave this one because I have a lot of tokens here and cubes. I will show you this one. On this player board you have 5 resource tracks, and during the game of course you will gain resources. The purple one, the pink one is energy, the yellow one is knowledge. Here we have mineral, organic, and this is ingenuity. This is like a wild resource that you can spend in place of other resources if you have to pay for something. And in this game the cool thing is that different resources, they have the colors, and those colors are also on the cards and on the tracks. So basically it's easy to remember that if you gain the pink resource, then you will be able to spend it on the laser project track. If you get the yellow resource, knowledge, you will be able to buy the action cards. If you, for example, if you will spend the organic resource, you will be able to buy boost cards, but you also will be able to work on the shield. And for the green project, green resource, organic, you can buy green cards and you can work on the shield. And this is, as I said, wild resource. Here you have the tech lab. You have different technologies that you will be able to unlock during the game by paying the knowledge resource, and those technologies are divided into 3 groups. This group allows you to raise those black bars, because at the start of the game you have those black bars, and this is like the passive income of each resource at the start of each round. So the higher it gets, the more like resources you will get for free at the start of each round. So basically this area here allows you to spend knowledge to boost those brackets up. This area allows you to spend knowledge to get some upgrades to your actions, like here for example, after you move a lander from moon to the planet and back, you can immediately perform an action, or you can pay with any resource, not only with energy, or you can buy cards for less resources. So this helps you during the game. And the last area here is technologies that will give you points for doing something. Like here you get 1 victory point for progressing on the laser track, and here you get, for example, 1 victory point for anytime a pink cube will be taken from the bag after each round. And here you have space for tags. You have 3 different tags in the game. Let me show you. You will acquire those tags, or you can buy them, or you can get them from those research tracks, and you will place them here. And those tracks can be spent. You spend them by flipping them to the used side. They can be spent to perform some actions in more efficient way. You can use tags from this board, but you can also use tags from your cards. Some of your cards that you gain during the game they also have those tags. So anytime that you want to spend a tag, you have either to discard a card, or you can flip those tags to the used side. all cards that are discarded during one round and all cards discarded and all tags flipped will be back and ready to use in the next round. And basically the planet tags, they allow you to perform the planet actions more efficient. The moon tag allows you to perform the moon actions in more efficient way, and this like science or knowledge tag, this allows you to basically spend it on some actions. You can spend it on the tech lab if you perform one of those actions here, but you can also, if you research one of those technologies, then spend this science tag in for any other tags that is in the game. So you will gather those tags on card here and you'll be able to spend them. You never know how long the game will last, because at the end of each round you will take cubes from the back, and as I said, the game ends either when the comet reaches the last spot or when one of those tracks on this progress board is filled. So it depends what cubes are here and which cubes you will take, and you will take from the back. In the first round you only take, for example, 3, but then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the more rounds you play, the more cubes you take. And anytime you take a black cube, you will move this comet, this asteroid, one additional spot, because it moves one spot at the end of each round. But for each black cube taken from this back, you will move it even further. So the game can suddenly end because, for example, you take 5 black cubes from this back and the asteroid will move to the planet, straight to the planet. When the game ends, you will have to check which project was the pivotal one, the best one, and you always start with laser, and then you take 10 cubes from this back and you try to fill this track with either pink or black cubes. If it's not full, then you check if the shield is the pivotal project. Again, you take 10 cubes from this back and you only look at the black and blue cubes. If it doesn't fill to the end, then automatically the pivotal project is the last one, evacuation, and you will score points. Here it shows you how many points you score for the pivotal projects, and here how many points you score for other projects. And then when the game ends, you also have to count the points from your green cards, and the player with most victory points wins. If you play solo, you play against a bot, against Automa. It's called Simu, and Simu is using a deck of cards. You have 4 difficulty levels. It's cool because Simu doesn't use the player board. You doesn't have to track resources for Simu. Simu will basically only place his or her its shuttles on different action spots to block them for you, because in a 2-player game, if one player chooses one of the actions on one of those locations, this location is closed for the other player. So Simu will basically flip a card, will try to move to a specific action spot, and then if the location spot was available, he will get this bonus. If this location space was not available, he will get this bonus, and he will score points from those science tracks. Then of course Simu will score points from this project when the game ends. Simu also gains cards, action, boost cards and species cards, but Simu doesn't use those cards for actions or for abilities. It will score points for those cards when the game ends, and the higher difficulty level, the more points Simu will score for each card. And of course, if you have more points, you win. If Simu's got more points, it wins. So the maintenance of Automa is very easy, because each Simu turn you flip a card, you do what it says, and that's it, and then you can focus on your actions. And this is basically how you play How to Save the World. Let me tell you what I think about this game. So what are the things that I like and I don't like about this game? I like the theme of this game, this asteroid coming to the planet and that you want to save it. Maybe I have seen too many times Armageddon with Bruce Willis, but yeah, this theme is pretty cool. And the cool idea is that you have 3 different projects that you can develop during the game, and each one has got a chance to success, laser, shield or evacuation, but you never really know which one will be the pivotal one, so this is a cool idea. I really like worker placement games and I like deck building games. And here in this game I have both. There is worker placement, you have your landers that you will place them on different action spots, but Also, you have this action cards, your deck of cards that you can modify during the game. You can acquire new cards. And cool thing is that some of those cards give you end game scoring, additional scoring conditions. And I like games that let player decide for which things you will score points at the end of the game. So apart from these main projects, which are main things, the additional scoring victory points that you can get depend on the green card, the species card that you get. So this is quite cool. The rules are quite intuitive. When I seen the game and I read the rulebook for the first time, I thought, okay, this is quite a lot. But when you start playing the game, it's very intuitive. You have a lot of icons. Everything is really clear. Everything is explained on cards and on the board. You have different icons and descriptions. So this is quite cool. And the gameplay is not long. I'm not sure how long it takes when you play with 4 players, but a solo or 2-player game can be finished in 1 hour, hour and a half, so it's a really good time. And another thing I like is that the player turn are very quick. You take one action and then the next player takes an action, and next player, and so on and so on. So this is quite cool. I don't like Euro games where you have one player turn and this one player is doing a lot of different things, a lot of different actions, and other people have to wait. No, here it's really quick. One action and the next player plays. So this is really nice. And the solo mode is really well designed because you have different difficulty levels. The bot is challenging, but at the same time, the maintenance of solo mode and running the solo mode is really quick. You have just a deck of cards. You reveal one card, and the bot basically either makes the progress of one of those project tracks, or occupies an action spot, or takes some cards. And that's basically it. You don't have to use player board for the board, you don't have to track resources. So I like solo modes like this, that you can focus on your game and you don't have to waste time making actions for the bot. And what are the things that I don't like about this game? I think that the game can really surprisingly end and suddenly end, because the ending of the game depends on those project track and the asteroid track, and depends which cubes you will take randomly from the back. The game can suddenly come to an end and you will be not prepared. Additionally, you never know which of those tracks will be the pivotal one and that will score most points. And even though you may work on a project and you may add a lot of cubes in this project's color to the back, if you're unlucky, you will draw other cubes from the back and your project will not be the main one and you will lose many points. So I'm not sure if... I think that for some people, playing Euro game is about optimization, and they like to plan their actions, and here you never know when the game will end and how the game will end. Second thing is that the game is quite repetitive, I would say. I played it a few times, and each time you play the game you're basically doing the same things over and over again. There's not a lot of variety, like you only have those 4 action tiles that you place on the mon during the game, but the rest is always the same. You have always the same actions on the planet, you have the same projects, the same tracks, and even though you have a lot of cards, all those cards, they basically allow you to do the same actions over and over again, either get resources or spend those resources on 3 of those tracks. So I'm not sure if the game will not get boring after another few plays. We will see. And the last thing is that the retail edition, the one you see here, is I think worse than the Kickstarter one, and this is like an example of a Kickstarter game that I don't really like, a game that gives you not some discount or better price, or maybe will throw in an expansion for free, but the Kickstarter edition has got better components. You have dual layer boards and you have some mini expansions that add some additional cards to the game. In the retail edition you don't have it, and making a Euro game without a dual layer board is a crime. Especially a game like this where you have 5 different tracks with different resources and you place those cubes on those technology lab, and it's really easy to push your player board and everything will you will have a big mess on your player board. So I think that dual layered board is really a must in such a Euro game, and they added dual layer board but only in the Kickstarter edition of the game. So my advice is that if the game looks interesting for you and you think that you will like it, try to hunt down the Kickstarter, the deluxe edition of the game, because it's much better than the retail one. But overall, I have fun playing this game. I really like the previous game from this publisher, Endeavor Deep Sea. The Guy game reminds me a little of it in terms of heaviness and quickness of play. Endeavor Deep Sea is better because it's more varied. You have different scenarios and different layout of the ocean, but those games are different. There are some similarities at least in my head, but those are different games. But this game is fun. I like the challenge. I like playing it solo. It's a fun puzzle to solve. I'm not sure if the game will stay in my collection forever, because maybe after a few more plays I will say that this is repetitive and I have seen everything that this game has got to offer. But for now, it's fun. It's also this type of Euro game that you can introduce new players to. The rules are quite easy, and despite the initial number of a lot of different actions and icons, it's a very intuitive game. So if you have some players that are not really very familiar with Euro games, this one is I think good game to show it to them. So yeah, a fun, quick and clever Euro game. We will see in a few more plays if it will stay in my collection, but for now I am enjoying it. Thanks for watching. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel. You can visit me on different social media platforms. All the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.